Welcome back to Computer Basics, Episode 7, Entering Data in Excel. This program is a continuation of Episode 6, which was an intro to Microsoft Excel. If you missed that episode, it will be linked in the YouTube description box. In this video, you'll learn how to add a title, enter data, enter basic formulas, and format your data. If you'd like a copy of the workbook with the title and labels already entered so you can follow along, send me an email at techhelp@southfieldlibrary.org. This workbook is based on an example from a book we have at the library called Excel 2019 in Easy Steps by Michael Price. We have this book and many other step-by-step guides to Excel at our library. If you're following along with this video as you create your own budget, use the pause button to listen to portions of this video at a time. If you're watching on your desktop or a laptop computer, you can use your computer to easily pause the video by clicking the spacebar on your keyboard. To resume watching the YouTube video, press the spacebar again. You can easily rewatch portions of this video by using your keyboard as well. Hit the back arrow on your keyboard to rewind a YouTube video in 5-second increments. Keep pressing the back arrow until you've reached the portion of the video that you'd like to rewatch. Add a title. In this video, we'll create our own personal budget. Start by opening a new workbook like we learned in the Intro to Excel video. Type the title for the spreadsheet in A1. For this example, I'm going to create a personal budget for Bob, so I'll call it Bob's Personal Monthly Budget. If you like, you can type your own name here. Click in cell A1. Type the title of the sheet and hit enter. Let's create labels for our budget. After entering a title in A1 and hitting enter on the keyboard, your cursor will be in A2, so you can begin entering the labels. The labels I'm adding are income, salary, side business, total income, expenses, mortgage/rent, electricity, gas, water and sewer, cable/internet, waste removal, maintenance/repairs, groceries, dining out, entertainment, total expenses, savings/shortage. Some of the labels aren't fitting in the allotted cell size. In Episode 6, we learned a few tricks about resizing rows and columns, so let's practice here. Hover your mouse over the line in between column A and column B. You'll know you're in the correct spot when you see a black line with an arrow pointing to the right and an arrow pointing to the left appears between the two columns like the one shown on the screen. The picture on the left is used to resize columns. The picture on the right is used to resize rows. Your mouse automatically changes to these pointers based on where it's located on your Excel sheet. When the resized pointer appears, click and drag the column so you can fit all your labels. Enter data. Now we can begin entering data in cell B3 for salary. In column B, we'll enter all of the corresponding data as described by the labels we've created. You can either follow along with me on Bob's imaginary budget or enter numbers that correlate to your own budget. Enter the budget amount and then hit enter. When I hit enter, Excel brings me to the cell directly beneath where I'm entering. If you hit enter after entering each budget amount, you can quickly enter all your numbers without using your mouse. If you're using the spreadsheet that I sent you, make sure you don't enter numbers in income, which is B2, total income B5, expenses B6, total expenses B17, savings/shortage B18. To skip over these cells and continue on to the next cell, simply hit enter again. This is a great time to pause the video if you're entering your own data as I enter Bob's. Inserting a row. Start by clicking row 4 or the row where you want to insert another row above. Excel always inserts new rows above your selection. When you click row 4, the entire row is selected. You can right-click anywhere on the selected row to open a dialog box. From there, choose Insert. A row will be inserted above the selected row. If you no longer need the additional row, you can delete it by right-clicking the row number and choosing Delete from the dialog box. Basic formulas. For our first function, let's add together all of our income into the total income column. To start, select cell B5 by clicking in the cell. A bold line should surround the cell. This is known as the cell indicator. Click Insert Function. When you found the formula that you want, you can either double-click the function or click the function, then click OK to insert it. It will now ask you for the function arguments. This is a fancy way of saying where you want Excel to start adding your data and where you want Excel to stop adding your data. You'll see that Excel guessed my cells correctly. If your formula was entered correctly, go ahead and hit Enter. If it doesn't guess correctly or it's blank, we can enter these numbers manually. To get the total income, we want to add the salary and side business. Salary is the first item on the list, so enter the cell address in the number 1 spot, or click the cell you want Excel to start adding from. Click number 2. The next item we want to include is side business, which is cell B4. You can enter B4 on the keyboard into the number 2 field, or you can click the cell and it will automatically be added. The total income line is now adding our total incomes together. There are other ways of inserting functions. For instance, you can use the Auto Sum button. Let's try this one for total expenses. Begin by clicking the cell where you want to insert the function. In this case, it's B17. Make sure you're on the Formulas tab. Click Auto Sum. Again, Excel correctly guessed which numbers to include. If the numbers are correct, hit Enter. If it didn't correctly guess the numbers, you can also edit the formula in the formula bar. Click the formula bar. You can then manually change these numbers. Let's enter our own formula for savings/shortage. We'll calculate this by taking the total income and subtracting the total expenses. Begin by clicking the cell next to savings/shortage. All formulas must begin with an equal sign. You must enter the equal sign so Excel knows that you want it to perform an equation for you. Enter the equal sign. Enter the cell address for total income. In my example, it's B5. Next, we'll enter the minus or subtract symbol on the keyboard. Then enter the total expense cell address. Hit Enter and the total will populate. To make sure your formulas are pulling from the correct cells, you can double-click the cells with the formulas. To close the formula, hit Enter. Now that all of our data is entered, it's time for the fun part, formatting. There are so many possibilities when it comes to formatting, so we'll just focus on a few here. We'll start with formatting text. If you want to focus on your font, you can use the font section on the Home tab. Here you can change the font type, font size, add color, and more. To use any of these options, click the cell you want to apply the formatting to, then click the format you wish to apply. Let's do an example with bolding our title. To bold our title, click the title cell. Click the bold B in the font section. Let's also center our title. Typically, titles are centered over your data. To center your title, click and drag to highlight all of the column cells that encompass your sheet. In this case, that's A1 and B1. Once those two cells are highlighted, under the Home tab, click Merge and Center. Borders help to more clearly distinguish between cells. To add a border, highlight all the cells you want to have a border around by clicking and dragging your mouse. From the Home tab, click the down arrow next to the 4 outlined squares. Within the Font section, click All Borders. Styles. A quick and easy way to make your data look better is by using the Styles section on the Home tab. Highlight all the data in your table by clicking and dragging your mouse. Make sure you don't include the title. Click Format as Table Choose whichever table looks best to you. When you use Style, it automatically adds column headings, so let's fill those in. Click Column 1. Using the formula bar, add a title for Column 1. Once you're done with Column 1, click Column 2. Again, use the formula bar and add a title for Column 2. The last thing we're going to format are the numbers. To format numbers, we'll stay on the Home tab and focus on the Number area. Let's work on the amounts. Highlight all the numbers in your table by clicking and dragging with your mouse. Make sure you don't include the column title or the title of the worksheet. You can easily format all your numbers to currency by clicking the $sign under the Numbers area. If you want more options, you can click the arrow in the bottom right-hand corner of the Numbers area. There you can choose a category and see what different formats are available, like date, time, percentage, and much more. That's all for this episode of Computer Basics. We've covered entering a title and data, formatting data, and we've gone over a few formulas. If you have questions about this video or suggestions for future videos, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, wishing you well.